Right, so in today's video I'm going to be explaining how you can keep your lawn thicker and healthier this spring. But if you'd like to check out any of my previous content, such as my garden renovation series where I took my slope garden and turned it into a garden with 2 tiers with a retaining wall and a patio, or if you'd like to check out any of my lawn tip videos, then head over to my channel, and if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. Now, the first thing you need to be doing is you need to be cutting your lawn on a regular basis. What I don't mean is cutting it every week or every 2 weeks. What you should really be doing is cutting your lawn when it needs to be cut. Now, it's entirely up to you to decide when you think that's the case. But if you're cutting on, like, let's say the 3rd highest setting on your lawnmower, when you see that the grass has grown just a little bit, you need to be taking off those tips. Now, this is for a few different reasons. One of the reasons is that if you only take off the tips, what you're doing is preserving most of the grass plant, and it's the blade itself that's, producing the food and giving it that boost of growth that it needs to be continually thriving. If you're not cutting your grass enough, what can happen is when you let it grow too high, when you then take off loads of that grass blade, you're effectively killing most of the plants. It's the grass blade itself that's keeping the grass healthy and alive, and by cutting off most of that grass blade, all you're doing is just damaging the plants. So by cutting often and taking just the tips off the top of your grass, you're encouraging that growth. So what it'll do is every time you take off the tips, it's sending a message to that grass plant to say, right, I need to regenerate now. I need to add that boost in growth to get back what I've just lost. What you will end up with is a lawn that's tightly packed together, just like this. Now, this isn't the best lawn in the world by any stretch, but for the regular homeowner who is working a full-time job and can only cut the grass up on the weekends or on the odd weekday, you can get a lawn that's nicely packed together like this. You can see as well, not a lot of the grass blades come off. It's only, like I said, it's only the tips. If you look in the grass box, it looks like there's hardly anything there, but that's a good sign because, it's only a small lawn and we don't want to be taking too much off because, like I said, all you're going to be doing is stressing out and killing that plant. So as an example, this lawn has had 3 cuts in the last 7 days. It had 1 last Sunday, it had 1 on Wednesday, and 1 today, which is Saturday. Now, some people might say this early in the spring, you should only really be cutting your grass maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once every week at most. But this just shows you that if you're cutting your grass often and you're fertilising it, which is then boosting that growth, you can go on and cut it more frequently. Something else that you should be doing as well is fertilising your lawn often. Now, what I mean by this is you can be going on with granular fertilisers every so often. That's, the right thing to do. But it's also as well about putting some liquids down on your lawn too. So today I'm going to be putting down the Evergreen Fast Green Liquid Lawn Food, which is effectively just a liquid nitrogen that can go onto the lawn. Now, nitrogen is something you should be applying to your lawn when the grass is actively growing. What it'll do is it'll give it that boost of growth. And like I said before, if you're giving the lawn a boost of growth, it means you can cut it more often, which means then it'll thicken up even quicker too. I'm also going to be applying some liquid seaweed too. Now, I did apply liquid seaweed to this lawn around about 4 weeks ago, which was the Envy seaweed, which I picked up from Amazon. I did get this one recently, the A1 Lawn Seaweed Extract. Now, I've not used it yet, so this will be the first application of it, but I'm going to see how it fares compared to the Envy seaweed that I have been using. You can see you don't need much of this product to be applied onto the lawn, and it's not something that's necessarily going to green up your grass, but it is something that will encourage the root growth and make the soil a much more healthy place for that plant to be growing. And finally, I'm going to be using something that I've not used yet before, which is a wetting agent too. Now, I've read a lot of mixed things online about whether you should be applying a wetting agent, whether it's worth it, what are the actual benefits behind it. And effectively what the wetting agent does is it takes sort of like the water droplets that land on your lawn whenever you've watered it or whenever it rains, and instead of them sitting there like droplets on the plant, it helps to sort of break the sort of water tension of that water droplet and helps the liquid to distribute itself more evenly onto the grass blade, but also into the soil as well. It does say a few things online as well about the benefits of it actually helping your lawn to stay less stressed when it gets to the warmer weather as well. there we go. It's been 3 days now since I put the products onto the lawn, and it's looking really thick and really healthy. You can see that by just cutting it every few days, just taking those tips off the grass blades, the grass is really starting to thicken up. And what I'll do, I'll show a clip now of what this grass looked like about a month ago, and obviously you can see the difference between what it looked like then compared to what it looks like now, which is a huge difference. And you can see the bottom tier is currently under some landscaping fabric, and the reason being is because I've been leveling this, and what I'll do in the next video is I'm going to show you exactly how I've got this lawn perfectly flat. So I hope you have found today's video useful. If you have, feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to check out any of my other videos such as my garden renovation series or any of my lawn tip videos, then head over to my channel, and if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. Finally, thanks for watching.